Hello, my name is Latricia Renee and welcome to Just Reading Into It. Today we are asking the cards all about stress, what the underlying cause is, how to cope with it, what lesson we can learn, and even how to avoid repeating that stress in the future. For our designators today, we are going to be using the Sacred Forest Oracle. So let's go ahead and get one of each for our 3 groups that we're going to do today. Okay, group number 1 has the Bluebell Fairy of Gratitude. Oh, group 2's popped out. It is the Crystal Cave with Trust. Let's get one more. For group 3, we have the Eagle Spirit of Freedom. Okay, you can pick based on the keywords on the cards, the images shown, or even the numbers 1, 2, and 3. They also have numbered, the cards are numbered, so this is card number 6 for group 1. Card number 9 for group 2. And card number 13 for group 3. Whatever you feel drawn to, you can select any 1, 2, or all 3 groups if you like. You can pause the video here if you need some more time to choose. Timestamps will be in the description. But without further ado, let's get into your reading. Hello, group number 1. If you chose the Bluebell Fairy of Gratitude, then this is your reading. Today we are looking at stress, what the underlying cause is, how to cope with it, lessons we can learn from it, and even how to avoid it in the future. Now remember that this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and most importantly, have fun. So the Bluebell Fairy of Gratitude tells me that maybe you're aware of the fact that you want to have more gratitude in your life, that you want to be more aware of all the little things, the little positive things in your life that make it good. Maybe right now you're a little too focused on the negative because of the stress that you're dealing with. But let's take a look at what your cards have to say. We're going to start with your tarot cards, and today we are using the Ethereal Visions Tarot. We'll get a few of these, and then we'll dive deeper with some oracle cards. The first card I pull is going to represent the underlying cause of the stress. Okay, for you, group 1, you have the World. Now, a couple things come to mind with the World here. The first thing that I thought of is that you feel like you've got the world on your shoulders, right? Like maybe you're feeling responsible for everything. And maybe you're taking too much responsibility on yourself. The other thing is that the world often represents completion of some sort of cycle, and maybe something has ended that you weren't ready to end, or you're not sure what to do next, and that can also cause stress. Next up, we're going to pull a card for how to deal with it, how to cope. Okay, you have the Nine of Pentacles. And this goes along perfectly with this Bluebell Fairy of Gratitude. The Nine of Pentacles is about enjoying the rewards of your hard work, enjoying success. Okay, which is interesting because the world can often represent a successful completion of something. Okay, maybe now is the time to celebrate whatever it is that you've completed, whatever you have achieved in life. And maybe it's not the source of your stress, but just take a look at what it is that you have achieved in your life, and feel free to think of like even the littlest things, even the mundane things that you think are ordinary. They're actually quite extraordinary when you view them in the proper light. So that's the Nine of Pentacles, just telling you to sit back and appreciate what you've worked hard for. All right, next up, we're going to pick a card to represent what lesson we can learn from all this stress that we're dealing with right now. Okay. We had a card fall out, and that is going to be the Two of Cups. Okay. If you identified with my initial meaning here for the idea of you feeling like you're taking on the world, the Two of Cups here can represent partnership. Okay, for you, I'm getting something like the idea that it's not all on you, all right? That you're not the only one responsible for everything. That there are other people that you can delegate to or who share in responsibility. Okay? The world doesn't have to be on just your shoulders, is the lesson that I'm getting here. It could also be just to confide in someone else that you trust and care about. Okay? Share in and commiserate with someone. Okay? You don't have to go it alone, is what I'm getting from the Two of Cups. Last but not least, let's take a look at ways that we can avoid this stress or other stressors in the future. You have the Star. Hope and healing. Okay. I'm getting a strong sense of healing from this card, that maybe there is some sort of past trauma or past issue you're dealing with that needs to be healed in order to move on. Maybe the reason why you're feeling like you have to take on everything, the reason why you're feeling so stressed and overwhelmed is actually because of some sort of mindset that you've developed over the years in your past that needs to be healed. Okay, for that sort of thing, I do highly recommend seeking out professional help. Therapy is a wonderful tool if you have access to it. You don't have to be mentally ill in order to benefit from therapy. Even just having someone to talk to bounce ideas off, to really dig deep and get to the root of your issues is what I'm thinking with the Star, especially with the Two of Cups here. Okay, you may want to seek outside help. Okay, now we're going to dive deeper with your oracle cards, and I'm really excited about this next deck. First up, we have the Tree Keeper's Oracle, which I just got by one of my favorite artists, Stephanie Law. So we're going to get one of those. And you have the Keeper of Ease. Yes. So maybe now is the time to rest and relax and try to put your mind at ease, right? You're feeling the weight of everything, and now is the time to put that down. Put down the stress. Since this is from a new oracle, I want to go ahead and read the passage here from the book on it. Also, just taking a quick glance at it myself, I really think it's relevant to you and really powerful. So let's take a look here. We weren't raised to work with the ebb and flow of energies. We were raised to determine a course of action, have a goal, and stick to it. The message has been, if it's challenging, uphill, exhausting, or overwhelming, keep going. Suffer the hardship because it makes the reward so much sweeter. This has led us to go against our own divine nature, punishing ourselves with struggles that feel uphill and suffocating. But the way of Source is to work with the flow. Now is the time to turn off the should in your mind. Turn your energies downhill. Let go of the idea that your dream or decision requires you to toil. Yes, you are in for hard work and commitment, but no, you don't get extra points for suffering. Let others have that battle. You, it's time to relax. Call on your invisible allies. Let Source and its flow be your partner in this achievement. Yes, I do agree with that. We are often taught that striving is the only way, and it is important for the human spirit to have goals and to strive for things. But at the same time, it's important to balance that, right? Want to balance that with rest and not necessarily idleness, but healing, rest and healing for you, okay? All right, next up we have your mindful messages. I'm going to go ahead and get one of those for you. Okay, this one right here. You have self-appreciation. Yes. I will find a moment throughout the day that I can dedicate to myself. Find a comfortable space and bring a pen and paper. I will write a letter of appreciation to myself where I will pour love into who I am and all that I do. Okay, this is perfect. It goes really great with the how to cope with your situation, the 9 of Pentacles, appreciating yourself. And you know what? I feel like this reading here applies to me as well. I've been going through a situation where I've been putting what I felt like I should be doing ahead of what it is that I truly want, to the point where I lost sight of what it even was that I wanted, right? So take the time to appreciate yourself, get to know yourself, okay? Because we are constantly changing. So it may be time to refamiliarize yourself with you and just appreciate who you are, okay? Last but not least, we have your Therapets cards. I want to get you one of these. These are just nice little sayings, reminders of maybe little pep talks, just nice little messages to have. Not necessarily divinatory, but I like them. Okay, and you have You're still making progress even on your worst days. Okay, so to me, this is a reminder that even if you're not feeling it, even if you're, and see, I don't necessarily agree with what it says about your worst days, because taking time for yourself, right? Not achieving everything, it doesn't mean it's a bad day, right? Even the worst days are good days. You're still making progress. And what it is you are taking time that you need, right? Your body is telling you, your mind is telling you that you need some rest. And that is why you maybe not are achieving everything that you think you are. But you are still making progress, right? Rest is a part of that progress. We need rest in order to be at our best. Didn't mean to rhyme there, but there you go. So overall, group 1, I am getting the sense that you are overworking yourself, that you are maybe a little focused on how you feel things should be rather than what you want, what you need out of life. So that is your message for today. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading. If so, a like or a comment to let me know how I'm doing is always appreciated. Feel free to check out the other groups as well. There may be some additional messages for you. But for now, I will leave you with until next time. Hello, group number 2. If you chose the Crystal Cave with Trust, this is your reading. Today we are looking at stress. We are looking at what the underlying cause is, how to cope with it, any lessons we can learn from it, and how to avoid stress in the future. Now remember that this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and most importantly, have fun. You chose the Crystal Cave of Trust, and that makes me think that maybe you have trust issues, or this may be, I'm feeling less like individuals. This could be an interpersonal issue, but I'm also getting trust that things are going to work out. I'm getting like trust in the future, right? Trust in the universe. So that may be playing into that as well, but let's take a look with your cards. So first up, we're doing our tarot cards, which we have the Ethereal Visions Tarot today. So we're going to get a few of those to tell us more about your stress, and then we'll dive deeper with some oracle cards for more information. Okay, so first up is going to be what the underlying cause of your stress is. Okay, for you, you have the Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups can relate to boredom or apathy, and I wonder if that's something that you are experiencing at the moment. This reminds me of actually something I was going through recently with my own work. I have a day job. I don't just do tarot. And lately I have been finding it very repetitive, and I didn't realize it, but that sort of boredom with work was causing me to have anxiety attacks at work. And so something as simple as boredom and apathy can really have a profound effect on us. And I'm wondering if it has to relate to the message in group 1 had, where you're maybe doing it out of feeling like you should rather than I want to, that I'm choosing to do it. But let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of your cards and see what they have to say. Next up, we're getting a card to represent how to cope with it. How to cope with the stress that you're going through at the moment. Okay, you have the Fool. All right. And you know, if boredom and apathy really is the issue here, then the Fool is an excellent card to get for coping with it. Basically, you want to inject a little spontaneity and fun into your life, right? Take risks, take that leap of faith, and shake things up, okay? And again, if this is something like you're feeling that you have to do something, really you want to reprioritize here and make sure that you are doing something because you want to do it, right? That you're feeling the pull, the call, not necessarily just because you feel like it's something that you need to do, not something that you should do, rather. Okay? So be spontaneous, take risks, go on a new adventure, shake things up is what I'm getting for you. All right, next up we're going to get a card that represents the lesson to learn from the stress. What lesson can we learn from the stress that you're going through right now? Okay, you have the Four of Wands. It's interesting to me, right? You have the Four of Cups and you have the Four of Wands. And fours always represent a sense of stability, right? But with the Four of Cups representing that sort of safe, maybe a little bit too safe feeling, the Four of Wands the Wand suit represents passion, okay? Maybe you need to seek that same kind of stability, but in a way that ignites your passion. Maybe that is the lesson that we need to take from here, that there is more than one way to find that stability. Okay, the last tarot card that we are going to get today is one to help you figure out how to avoid dealing with this stress in the future, right? So this could be regarding this particular boredom. It can be stress in general. But you've got the Ten of Pentacles, right? This is about the life that you want to live, okay? The family and people and things that you surround yourself with. A successful life, right, looks different for everyone. And I kind of wish that I had pulled out my Cozy Witch Tarot for this that I just got, because the message on there, I think, is so perfect about the idea that it looks different for everyone. Okay? Don't pursue something just because you think that that's what is expected, that's what everybody else wants. Okay? Go for something that suits you. That's what you want, your dream life. So just take a moment and ask yourself, what does that look like? What does your ideal life look like? And are you taking a path that pursues that dream life? All right, so now that we've finished with your tarot, let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper with your oracle cards. First up, I'm really excited about this new oracle deck I just got, the Tree Keeper's Oracle by Stephanie Law as the artist. She's one of my favorite artists of all time. I have her Shadowscapes Tarot. We're going to get you one of these cards. And this one looks like it's appropriate. You have the Keeper of Innocence. And I feel like this is kind of reiterating the Fool card here, which often represents innocence. And also that spontaneity, that wonder. Okay, seek wonder in the world. Since it is a new deck, however, I do want to go ahead and just take a quick peek at the book and see what it has to say. Okay, here we are. You were born from purity, a luminous soul created from a morsel of the divine, housed in a human body. You always have this innocence at your core, no matter what or who happens to you. Love dissolves all things unlike itself, so choose the loving eyes of a new parent and gaze at your own life with captivation and wonder. Now is the time to connect with the innocent, whole, breathtaking soul you were born with. I really like what it says about looking through the eyes of a new parent, because I have this sort of theory, this idea that each of us represent the parents to ourselves, right? We have the inner child, but we are also our inner parent. And with that comes unconditional love, the way that a parent should love a child, okay? So love yourself, I'm getting from this. Love yourself and embrace that innocent, free spirit. Next, we have your mindful messages. Let's get one of these cards as well. Okay, and you have together. I love working together with others and how it makes once impossible dreams possible. I see there is strength in unity, and how much we can accomplish together. Asking for help is not weak, it is powerful. That is interesting. Group 1 also had a message here about seeking help. So if that's something you feel like that your stress is becoming overwhelming, feel free to seek out help from others, right? It could be a friend or family that you feel is trusted and that you trust and that you work well with, you can speak freely with. It could also be a professional if you feel like you don't have someone that you can talk to, or if you feel like you need that professional angle on things. I do highly recommend therapy. It is you don't have to have mental illness to get benefit from therapy. All right, last but not least, I just wanted to get a message from our Therapets. Just a nice little message, positive pep talk, that sort of thing that may be related to what you're going through. Oh, I love this one. You will rise above the ashes. You will find a way to become whole again. To me, this is about change, right? The Phoenix is about change, endings, and new beginnings. You will find a way to love yourself. You will find a way to appreciate yourself, right? And I really feel like you might want to check out Group 1. I feel like there's some similar themes here going on, just to see if that resonates with you as well. But I hope that you enjoyed your reading. If so, a like or a comment to let me know how I'm doing is always appreciated. Feel free to check out the other groups as well. I mentioned Group 1, but there is Group 3 coming up as well. But for now, I will leave you with until next time. Hello, Group 3. If you chose the Eagle Spirit with Freedom, then this is your reading. Today we are looking at stress, the underlying cause, how to cope with it, lessons we can learn, how to avoid it in the future. Now remember that this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but most importantly, have fun. Your card, the Eagle Spirit of Freedom, makes me think that maybe you chose this group because you are feeling trapped by something. Maybe you're in a situation you feel like you're being overwhelmed, or that you're stuck somewhere and you're looking for that escape, that freedom. But let's go ahead and see what your tarot cards have to say. For tarot today, we are using the Ethereal Visions deck. We're going to get a few of these and then dive deeper with some oracle cards. First card I pull is going to represent the underlying issue for you. So what is the underlying issue of your stress? Okay, and right away you have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, I tend to think of generally as romanticizing life, usually in a good way, but in this position with the underlying cause of your stress, I wonder if it's to do with too much romanticization, too much fantasy, and not living in the present. But let's go ahead and get your other cards and see what they have to say, and the picture might become a little bit clearer. Next up, we're going to get how to cope with your stress. And you have the Knight of Swords. Interesting. Very interesting. You've got two knights here. And I feel like the Knight of Cups, if the Knight of Cups is representing you fantasizing and thinking about something, then the Knight of Swords is telling you to take action, to act on what you really want. It's possible you've got this idea of the way you want things to be, and the Knight of Swords is telling you that being dissatisfied with your life because it's not what you're picturing isn't going to cut it. You need to actually act on what it is that you want and make those changes. Okay, next up, we're going to get a card to represent the lesson that you can learn from dealing with this current stress you're going through. Okay, and you have the Empress. Sorry about that. The Empress is all about nurturing and creativity and self-care in particular. So I'm wondering if maybe you are neglecting the self. And so far I'm feeling a connection to the other two readings. There seems to be a theme going through here about, and maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because it reflects on something that I've been going through, but I'm getting a message about being true to yourself, right? Taking care of yourself first. And I kind of understand it because at the root of most stress, I feel like the way that we are brought up, the way that we are taught to exist, we put society first. We put others before ourselves, what we think we should be doing, what we think is expected of us, right? But maybe that doesn't work for us. But let's go ahead and get your final tarot card here. We're going to ask it about how to avoid this stress in the future. Okay? How can we avoid dealing with this stress in the future? you have judgment. Okay, so there's a couple ways to interpret judgment, and I feel like both kind of go along with what your cards are saying here. On the one hand, judgment is about a call to action, a call to level up and enter the next phase of your life. And I feel like that goes along with the coping card here, the Knight of Swords, telling you to take action, to make those changes, to make your ideal life a reality. And I feel like the judgment card is saying, yes, if you pursue making your life the way that you want it, and you're actually willing to take those actions and continue to evaluate and make those actions as you progress, because remember, we're always changing, then that is how you avoid getting stuck in a life that you are fantasizing about something else constantly. The other way to interpret judgment is how you judge yourself, right? And I think that goes along with the Empress card here and being kind to yourself, right? Taking care of yourself. How do you judge yourself? Are you being unfair or overly critical and harsh? Just something to think about. Next up, let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper with some oracle cards. First up, I have a new deck to share with you. It is the Tree Keeper's Oracle with art by one of my favorite artists, Stephanie Law. I'm really excited about this deck, so let's go ahead and get a card from here. Okay, and your card is the Keeper of Follow-Through. Yes. So follow through, as in you've got these ideas. I feel like you know what you want, right? I feel like you're someone who has been dreaming of something. You know what it is that is captivating you, but do you have the follow through to actually make it happen? But since this is a new oracle, I would like to go ahead and take a quick peek at the book here just to see what it has to say. Okay, here we are. It's time to follow through. No amount of dreaming, intending, or progress making can bring a goal to its fulfillment. You must honor your promises by following through with action every step to the end. Are you mired in details? Are you experiencing inertia because you've abandoned the hard work? This isn't a moment about lack of intention or imagination. You've made it through those hallways of creativity. These last steps are all about the push. There's a lot of sweat equity required to get a new life safely delivered into the world. Honor your commitments, especially those you have made to yourself. Review them. Edit them if they no longer feel compelling to you. Keep the ones that feel radiant. Follow through all the way to the end. That first squeal of new life will be worth all the push. Okay. So that is exactly what this is. So you've got the dreams. You know what it is that you want. Whatever it is that's holding you back, this idea of should I, would I, could I, whatever, that's not important. What's important is pursuing the life that you want and taking action to do it. Okay, you chose freedom. You want freedom. Give yourself that freedom. All right, next up we have Mindful Messages cards. Let's go ahead and get one of these as well. Okay, you have Infinite Creativity. At any moment, I am able to tap into an infinite source of energy and creativity within me. Unique ideas flow through, each one capable of blossoming into beautiful creations. Yes. So maybe what you're wanting is to pursue a creative career or some sort of creative project that you've been holding yourself back from, because people get a little weird with creativity. They think, oh, I'm not a creative person, when everybody has creativity. Or they think that other people will not appreciate their creativity. Other people will look down on them for pursuing creativity. And you need to let go of that. Another thing it says here, it says, each one capable of blossoming into beautiful creations. Yes, because that's the key message here, okay? The idea itself, not enough. Everybody has ideas. It's turning those ideas into reality that takes commitment, takes action and follow through. That's what you need. You need to take those ideas and turn them into reality. Okay, last but not least, we have your Therapets cards. Let's see what they have to say. Okay, let's take this one here. It's okay to float along. It's okay to just be. I love this one. It actually makes me think of group 1 a bit, because they were feeling a bit like they had the world on their shoulders and they needed some time to rest. But for you, I think it goes back to that sense of freedom, right? Maybe you don't have to judge yourself based on your productivity, right? Be free. Don't base your self-worth on something like what's expected of you. Okay? Be like maybe group 2 had spontaneity for their coping skill. Maybe that's something that you need to do. Maybe you need to be more spontaneous with your schedule, a little loosey-goosey with how you go about your day, just to shake things up a bit. But it's okay to be you, is what I get from this. It's okay to be you, to follow through with what you want. Okay? All right, thank you so much for watching Group 3. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading. If so, a like or a comment to let me know how I'm doing is always appreciated. Feel free to check out the other groups as well. Like I mentioned, there is a bit of a running theme here, so you may connect to the other groups. They may resonate with you as well. But for now, I will leave you with, until next time.